Hey everyone, it's Janice Amiro, and I am the CEO of Janice Inspiring Change. Welcome to Inspiring Change 2021. And before I introduce my guest, I just want to tell you a little bit about why I am, what my project is about, Inspiring Change 2021. When I first came upon this thought in December 2020 and thought, it's been an interesting year, and what can I do to bring the health awareness to more people and broaden the awareness for how people can help themselves. So I thought, why not interview experts in the holistic wellness field? And that's how this program came to be. So this is episode 22, I think I have here. And today my guest is Wendy Patrick. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Janice. How are you?
Well, how about you?
I'm great. Great. Thanks very much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. And Wendy lives not so far from me in the Annapolis Valley, and the sun is shining here. It's really, really nice out. So it's great to see you. And I love your banner in the back there. It
Oh,
looks
thank you.
fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
um, Wendy is a bit of a different sort of practitioner. As you probably see from the footprints in the background, she works with pets mostly. And so I think it's a fascinating approach to pet health, what she offers. And I was put in touch with her a few weeks ago for helping me with my dog. And I was just saying when we connected before we went live, um, I have 6 cats and a dog, and they all traveled back from Qatar when we moved back home in June. So we have so much in common, house full of animals, and a real love of animals. So let me just tell you a little bit about Wendy, and then I'll start with some questions for Wendy. So Wendy Patrick is a quantum practitioner, and I'm going to ask her to explain that a bit. From a lifelong passion for animals and more recently a revelation about her own health, Wendy has committed herself to sharing her energy, her skills, knowledge, and experiences to give everyone, two and four-legged, a better alternative solution to feeling and being better. And I like how you put that, being better, because there's an opportunity for us to feel better, to be better, to show up better for our family, for our community, and to have happy pets for sure. So thank you so much again, Wendy, for joining me.
You're
Maybe
welcome.
what we can start out by saying, or I can start out by asking you, is what is a quantum practitioner?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked. It's a good question. And it was funny because you asked, what's your title? And I was like, no, there's been so many. And it's like, how do I encapsulate that? Because otherwise, you'd be reading a list out of things that I have, or achievements, or certifications, or anything else. And I mean, I work with quantum energy. So it's like, well, I'm a quantum practitioner. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Quantum is, well, if you want to go on the sciencey side of it, it's actually physics. The whole quantum mechanics, quantum physics, it's basically we are all connected. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are,
Mm-hmm.
we are all connected on this quantum field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's through that connection that I can connect energetically through that, no matter where you are or what you are on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it means that, I can pick up your energy, even, obviously you see it from your face, your expression, and everything else. But if I tap in, as I put it, to how you're feeling or how you're sitting, I may say, well, you got a little bit of a knot on the left hand side of your spine, or you've been sitting a little bit crooked, or things like that. And I can actually pick up your pain spots just tapping in. So everything is on the quantum. And I mean, you're hearing that word being thrown around a lot more recently, I think. I mean, I started off doing the energy work and it was quantum touch as opposed to the traditional Reiki that a lot of people would be more familiar with. So, I mean, that was in my realm for, since 2008. And so it's been basically growing since then as I've started to understand it and learn it. And I'm just going on a journey, and I love it whenever I get clients, I go on their journey with them. And it also helps me on mine because it helps me to grow and develop and ask more questions and look at more things. So yeah, it's everything's quantum.
There, I had just muted myself because
Oh,
there's a motorcycle running outdoors there.
the joys of live
Yeah,
TV.
that's
Yeah.
right. It happened to be my husband's motorcycle in the driveway, but it will be gone soon. So anyway, it's such a nice day. Yeah, he's
Beautiful.
decided to take it out for a spin.
I
So
don't blame him. Yes,
yeah,
enjoy it.
exactly. So Wendy, you came into this whole type of work that you do through a personal challenge that you faced, and you had a health condition that kind of brought you to where you are now. Can you share that with us a little bit, if that's not too personal?
Oh no, I don't believe anything's too personal, although some people might. But uh, basically, I was grooming. I had changed careers, come back into the animal industry in 2006, and been suffering pain on and off, and had a few different things sort of diagnosed and on treatment for those and stuff, just your traditional way. And then in 2014, January 2014, I had a partial hysterectomy and everything went south. No pun intended. But, but after that, I kind of hit a brick wall, and a lot of things just were sore. There was wandering pain. There was lots of different things, and the doctor really couldn't put her finger on it. We did a test and stuff. Just at that time, there wasn't as many available or as many doctors aware of different options. But the standardized Health Canada test for Lyme disease, it came back negative, as I guess about 60% of them actually do, because they're only testing for one co-infection strain. So I plodded along just basically popping painkillers like Smarties and not finding any other way out of it. And the only thing they could actually find was my thyroid. And I had been on sleep apnea testing, heart monitor stuff for weeks, and all sorts of different tests and prods and pokes and blood work and everything, you name it. And it was through another natural practitioner that I had been following for about a year and a half. And I thought, what have I got to lose? So once I finally got in touch with them, cut a long story short, I actually decided to become one of their practitioners. So trained up under him. And because I was thinking I could apply this to help animals more.
Mhm.
And, sticking yourself on the back burner a little bit and plodding through as much as you can. But the brick wall had kind of been hit and I was just banging my head off it. And then I went for training with him for a Lyme protocol that he had developed. And he said, you're still burning through way too many tissue salts, natural mineral supplements. And he said, here, and tested me for the Lyme, and bam, there it was.
Wow.
There it was.
Wow.
So once I discovered what the beast was, then at least I was like, right, now let's fight it.
Yes.
And that's basically changed a lot. I mean, I retired from grooming because it's still at the point where if I'm bent over a dog, even trying to clip a nail, I'll cramp up within about 5 minutes and then things won't work again. And you can't do that with a dog. You can't do that in a normal grooming routine. If it takes me 3 days to groom my dog, that's fine. But, Mrs. Blogs can't bring her dog along and I'll go, I'll pick him up next Thursday. So, so it was really, let's change horses here and see what happens. And it's just been through a progression of then starting work with some other clients, seeing what changes have happened in their pets and in their animals. And then a lot of times they'll actually come and go, can you do anything for me? And
Mhm.
yes, I can, because the training is all based on humans first. It's just been
Mhm.
my research and trial that I've discovered how to adapt it all to animals and how their physiology is different and things like that. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow. You yourself today, you're feeling good. You managed to beat Lyme disease. Can we say that?
I don't know whether you can ever say it.
Mhm.
I'd like to say yes. Certainly, I mean, I am not testing for any of the little parts of the protocol that I would have been on, compared to what it was when I went full bore, full steam ahead. It's like throw everything at this. Let's get this done. But I mean, there's a certain cyclical rotation with that where you have to educate the body to slough off stuff, to get rid of stuff, to identify it, to open it up. And there's lots of different ways that Lyme can hide and show itself.
Yes.
So it's never a quick fix. Here's your 2-week treatment and you're done. I mean, I don't diagnose, I don't cure, I don't treat, I don't any of those words. I'm not allowed to, as I'm not a doctor, but I can certainly help identify deficiencies or needs,
Mhm.
and I can also identify what the protocol should be set up in order to help you get to a better being,
Right.
and actually help that life force, if you like, build up and help that body to work with itself as opposed to against everything that it's being,
Mhm.
taken in or
That's right.
faced with.
Mhm.
So I'd love to say that it's gone or it's cured. I mean, I can't say that, even though I just did. But I'm always very hesitant to say that. I think it gives people false hope.
Mhm.
And I think it also makes you then sort of turn that switch off where that does not, need to be considered anymore. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't want to feed it a lot of energy where I have Lyme disease. And, that is putting a weight on you that is already making you in this diseased state. We
Mhm.
want to get to that state of being in ease, whether
Mhm.
that's being more mobile again, less pain. But as soon as you put that dis on the front of it and you dis yourself to that, you have that disease.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you're carrying this energy that this disease is carrying with it as well. And therefore, that actually holds you down because it's your own state of mind that can
It
also help your
lowers your
vibration.
vibration.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's
Mhm.
all part of that whole quantum thing, too, because it's all energy and vibration and frequency, everything working in harmony together. So if
Mhm.
there's, that bad note on a beautiful piano concerto, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So it's
Yes.
like, okay, learn to play that right so you can go right through there and
Mhm.
then get that flow working within everything. And
Mhm.
you'll be able to get that harmony a little bit better
Mhm.
until you
Mhm.
can get it perfect, which we all strive for.
Right. Right. So you're mostly practicing with animals. So what is the most common um what's the most common reason someone goes to you with their pet?
Well, being the groomer in the background as well. I mean, obviously, I'm not a vet and I'm not in any way in competition or professing that I can do anything better than they can. They're fantastic. But I mean, for simple little things is usually how people end up finding me because they know the grooming background, or a lot of groomers know me as well, which indeed one sent you to me.
Mhm.
So a lot of times it can be skin issues that they're actually seeing,
Mhm.
where they say, well, maybe Wendy has a product or a certain shampoo or something like that. Or even our colloidal silver, for example, is really good for helping with even after surgery to help clean, keep a wound site cleaner, keep it more free of bacteria.
Mhm.
Um, And a lot of people will usually come first for sort of skin issues. My dog's really itchy, probably the most common thing I'll hear.
Mhm.
Or the anxiety thing where my dog gets travel sickness, or more recently with our smart oil because it's a good anti-inflammatory amongst other things. But people knew me as well because I was actually doing the CBD oil for a while until the regulations changed. We couldn't bring that in. So
Mhm.
arthritis, pain, old age, or a lot of people unfortunately find me as a last resort.
Ah.
And even vets have sent people to me as well because, well, Wendy used to have the CBD, or some of them think I still do, which I don't. Um, but they'll come to me and go, well, we've just spent $4,000 on a surgery, or we've just spent $500 on a skin scraping, or we've just done this or done that. And usually with that, then it kind of opens the door in a sense, well, maybe we can identify what the issue is, because I just don't want to give you a band-aid. You've had all the band-aids,
Mhm.
but what I want to do is to find the root.
Yes.
And that's how I can, with the whole energy, the scanning, the work, and the muscle testing, kinesiology,
Mhm.
that I can identify, it could quite simply be one tiny little ingredient in their food,
Mhm.
as
Mhm.
opposed to, well, they don't like this food, but they like this food, but it's
Mhm.
still itchy. Well, it's because you've got X or Y is still in that ingredient panel. So it's
Right.
really dissecting everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that about the food because, when I'm trying to help someone identify an issue, because, I do I deal with food issues and maybe overweight and all kinds of chronic health conditions. But if
Mhm.
somebody's having a reaction to something, um, like if I want them to stop eating gluten for a little while, then they can't have a cookie unless it's gluten free. They, if they say, well, I ate these cookies, they didn't bother me, but these ones did. So what are the ingredients in there? You have to take it
Yes.
all out. You have to dissect that and see what the common denominators are in these products. So what you do then is you would start with an assessment of the pet in with the muscle testing to see what if it's a skin issue, then that would be a good approach to take, and then you can recommend one of your products, or maybe not, maybe just let them know that this is the thing that's needs to come out of the diet, or maybe it's the detergent in the blank in the laundry soap or
Mm,
whatever it might be.
that's
So
right.
you do a bit of an assessment. So what does that look like when somebody, if I bring my dog to you, how do you start that out?
I think just to back it up a wee bit, if somebody comes to me looking for an itchy skin or something, I'll suggest a couple of the common denominators like
Mhm.
yourself, and
Mhm.
go try this first.
Okay.
First and foremost, my priority is to help. So I'm not out to fleece anyone or sucker someone in with, well, you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars to get on our protocol, blah blah blah. No. I find that a lot of us, especially empathic people that have a lot of animals and they care about the animals, that's where all their money's going.
Mhm.
So they don't have hundreds and thousands of dollars to basically throw at something where they're not going to get an answer.
Mhm. Mhm.
So where I like to start is at the beginning and go, okay, like I did with yourself, it's like, okay, let's try the smart oil.
Mhm.
Let's try if that works. Why don't you try this with this? And then if you need to go further, and sometimes that can actually be a great answer on its own. And that's fantastic because there's a
Right.
happier pet within 2 weeks, and there's a
Mhm.
happier owner as well. But if they come back and go, well, that didn't do anything. And I usually like to say to them, if you don't find that this is changing anything,
Mhm.
let me know,
Mhm. Mhm.
because then there could be something underlying.
Yeah.
And I think this is, the wonderful opportunity to come on to your show with you and other podcasts and stuff that we've done, that people are starting to get to know who I am and what I'm about and where, my base is. It's like I just want to help them all.
Yeah.
Um But if someone comes to me for an assessment, and I do that mostly remotely than anything else due to the craziness that's going on in the world at the minute. So I don't actually I haven't seen anybody really in person. I think there was one last December. So everything's done remotely.
Yeah.
So with that as well, then, I mean, I'm all over the world now too. So we basically connect on screen
Mm-hmm.
and I get to meet the animal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all I need to do is make a connection with that animal and get, they can hear my voice on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what I do on an energetic level is usually when you see the eyes, you see the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a full facial, through the eyes have always been the windows to the soul. I've always known that.
Mm-hmm.
Always, always. So it's things even as well I've pulled up from my childhood that are now developing and going, I did that years ago. I had no idea that meant something.
Wow.
So it's very, very cool how I've developed with it
Mhm.
and meeting people along the way who have given me snippets of information or things, through an animal communicator or through Reiki people, through quantum touch practitioners. And it's just been then, when someone's teaching you to do anything, and if it's not one hard and fast, um, cut and dried path, then you take what you need from all of the bits and you make it yours. It's the
Mhm.
same, what, dog trainers will do that, dog groomers will do that.
Mhm.
I'm sure yourself, you've done that because you've got different information from different places. And then what sits well with me, what resonates.
Right.
And when it resonates, it flows on that frequency.
Mhm.
Therefore, it's for you and you can develop that. Sorry, went off on a tangent. I told you you'd have to be reeling me in from time to time.
That's okay.
But basically, once I connect with them, then I will actually energetically ask them if I can speak with them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I will just literally do the muscle testing and get the answers for yes and no. And I'll test where that's coming from to make sure that it's from truth
Mhm.
and it's from them. And then start going through. So I'll do like a body scan and I'll ask them to show me if there is any pain. If we know that there's specific pain or the dog's got a limp or it's got a cough or it's not peeing right or whatever it is, and go, well, we've tried this route, we've tried this route, we've tried this route, and go, that's okay. And it doesn't matter whether they even tell me that or not, but just scanning the whole animal and asking for help. And I'll be poking myself as well and going, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Does this hurt? Stuff. It's kind of fun. But everybody, can think, oh, it's crazy and all the rest of it. But
Right.
the
Mhm.
proof is in the pudding. And
Mhm.
the thing is, I can't come on at the end of the testing once I've gone through. I'll do the whole body, skeletal, muscle, organs, and then I'll get right down into, okay, do you have any toxicity in the cells? So we'll go right down into a cellular level and go, is there glyphosate hiding in there?
Mhm.
And that's where you'll know that because you mentioned the gluten thing. Yep, your glyphosate is actually your worst thing for your gluten intolerances. But are there other pesticides? Are there any heavy metals? Are there any parasites? Are there any this? Are there any that? So at the end of a session, I'll go back on again, usually through the same way we connected to start with the owner, and go, okay, this is what I found, and this is what they told me. And sometimes it's really neat because I'll find something, I'll go, did such and such ever happen? Such and right? And they'll go, I forgot about that. And they'll go,
Yes.
okay, so now you know I can't make this up.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's the first part. And then if they decide that, okay, well, we'll try the protocol. What do you suggest? So if someone commits to a protocol, then it's very important that they stay on it. And
Mhm.
it may be short term, it may be long term. Initially, it may be a larger amount, but
Mhm.
usually over time, that will go down to a nice maintenance level. And maybe we're only checking in every 6 months or a year.
Mhm.
But it's important because I get myself very emotionally and energetically involved with that animal.
Mhm.
And it's the same as, a vet will, where they get attached to their clients. So they get the whole compassion fatigue
Mhm.
where, you feel that you know that you can help that animal, you can help that being or that person. And yet they don't want to go any further. And you're like, well, don't come to me unless you want to go the distance. But I will be completely truthful with someone and go, there's basically only so much we can do, but we can maintain a better quality of life for whatever we're going to get.
Right.
Right. But if there's something else where it's like, okay, well, we've got this and we can deal with this and we can help this change a little bit. We can shift this up, or we can clean out the system. We can get rid of that parasite or whatever it is that we need to do. And just with very, very natural, very, very clean, and just with true mineral salts and true supplements that are clean, very safe. And even if I'm looking at another company's line or something like that, because I don't just have mine, I have others, I'll actually test them against ones that I know are effective to see whether theirs are as effective. And I'll also test as well to see, is this a marketing gimmick on this product? Is this only working because you read it that it says it does?
Right.
And there are so many placebos out there that are beautifully packaged. So it's the intent sometimes of taking something where you think this is beneficial to my body because I believe what it says on the package. When in fact, it's no different than, licking your finger for 2 seconds and telling you it'll have the same effect.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then, as I say, the proof of the pudding is whenever that we come back to do a retest with the animal, whatever length of time it is, and it's the animal that always dictates that to me. They'll say, I want to see you in a month. I want to see you in 2 months. We're good for 6 weeks. I'm fine for 3 months. Just keep me on that. So it's all through testing and questions and answers to them. I don't dictate any of it. They rule it.
Well,
And when they come back on, then the owners will say, I'll say, okay, first of all, what's changed? What's different? What are you seeing? And usually if it's a longer term than a month, usually within a couple of weeks anyway, I'll have emails going, I can't believe this, or this seems much better, or this is how, should this be happening? Or things like that. So it's really, really cool. I mean, I get very much invested in them. I spend a lot of time on the computer and a lot of time talking to animals, quite literally.
Happy parents of these hairy kids.
Yes, absolutely. That's the best thing. I mean, it just makes my heart burst whenever I get an email coming through with a review on it or something. And that's why I'm here. That's basically why I'm here. That's it.
Your love of helping animals.
Yeah, pretty much. And helping people now as well, because, with my own journey, then it's nice to be able to empathize and understand where other people are coming from.
Yes.
Because it starts with you first. Yeah. And sometimes even the dogs or the cats or the horses or whatever are going, what are you talking to me for? You need my human. So they're actually grabbing the attention so that it can be refocused. So some dogs will actually shut down and go, okay, well, yeah, I'll have that. That's fine. I need a wee bit of help, but you really have to look there. And
interesting.
Yeah, very, very cool, because they read your energy. If they're in your household and they're part of your family, as it were, or your unit, then they're picking up that energy as well. They know more about you than you know about yourself.
Yes, it's not the truth.
Yeah.
For someone who, and I worked with someone like you for my own health. So I just jump in with 2 feet and I just went for it. And like you were saying earlier, you give someone your information and they come up with these things that how could they possibly know that? Or you said, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I had that, 10 years ago, whatever. And it's amazing that they can see this. And so my faith in what you do and people like you do is 110%. But my question is, when for the skeptic, out there, and there's always going to be a skeptic. And so what can you say to someone who says, this is woo-woo magic, this doesn't work, that there's no science here, this is ridiculous, you're going to get all of that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely.
Or people will say, maybe read a little bit and say, not even going to go down that road because I just closed off completely. So So what could you say to someone who's somewhat skeptic, and their pet needs help, or maybe they're looking for help for themselves? How could you approach that person? What could you
Well,
say?
I think I completely get it whenever they're skeptic, because I'm one of the biggest ones you'll find. I was completely skeptical with all of this, completely. And I'm one of the biggest doubting Thomases you'll find. I was that kid. Well, I'm still that kid. Why? Why? Well, why? But where is that? Well, where's the proof? Where's the truth in it? Where's the science? So trust me, I've gone down that route, and I don't expect anybody to trust me whenever I say trust me, because that's usually a red flag to me. If somebody says, oh,
Right.
trust me,
Yeah.
it'll be fine, the car will run. So I completely get it. I get a chuckle out of it, and it's like, oh, I totally know where you are, and I totally know where you're coming from, and that's absolutely fine. The way usually not even around that, I don't even want to do that. I don't need to weasel my way into someone's spectrum. But if their animal needs help and that's what they've come to me for, I'll go, well, I can help you. And I know it's going to sound mental, and I know it's going to sound crazy. I know it's going to sound like a party trip. I said, but give me 3 months tops. I usually say conservatively with the smart, it'll give me 2 weeks, and I'm getting messages in 2 to 3 days. So I'll go, if I am full of, you know what, then you can completely call me out on that and don't do it again. But I am never, ever going to give you something that's going to do any harm. Never. So the thing is, the worst that can happen is nothing.
Yes.
Right? The best thing that can happen is that you see a difference. Then you have to give me a little bit of credibility. And whether they believe it or not, because dogs, animals, doesn't matter what animal it is, they don't understand placebos.
No.
They don't get psychosomatic effects. Take this, you'll feel better.
Right.
Buy this, people will love you. They don't get that.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I actually get credibility faster because I can prove it with their animals. And that's all I can ask for. Then I enjoyed, if people are like, okay, I don't believe in this stuff. It's like, that's fine. You don't have to. I'm not going to make you. You believe in whatever you want to believe in. I believe in the fact that I can help your animal. That's what matters.
Yes.
And whether you believe that stuff works or not, as long as you follow the protocol, your animal will tell you whether it's true or not. You don't, you want the science behind quantum physics. Well, where do you want to start? A lot of people don't like to research or look things up or look into things themselves. They'll take everything that they're fed at face value, or see on a shelf, or see on a commercial, or hear driving to work, or whatever it is, and that's it.
Yeah.
But people need to get back to the fact where they are in control of themselves. Nobody else is in control of them. And if they start to do a little bit of research, a little bit of homework, a little bit of looking into things off the beaten track, it will open up so much more. And it's just great where somebody will skeptically say, well, maybe I'll let you do this. I'll go, okay, I'll be on your Christmas card list in 6 weeks. And they go, don't send Christmas cards. So that's fine. It's an expression actually from the practitioner who I went under. And sometimes you don't even necessarily need to believe in it if it's actually going to work.
That's
it's almost
right.
better that you don't, because then you know it's not just the energetic intent that you've put into it. So it's nice whenever that comes along, and yeah, I've converted skeptics all the time. Yeah, I constantly do it. There's a lot of people that go, look, oh, she's just mental. It's like, that's fine. I'm fine.
So I see behind you, you have some products there, and I'm wondering if you can, I'm not sure how many of them you have, but I'd like you to explain, if you would, a few of your products that that you have available.
Sure. Well, basically, what you see behind me is basically our whole range. A couple of the grooming products have just been the most recent additions with the scent free. That's a big thing for people. And actually, once I started looking that road, just a lot of things changed in the last year or so. I used to have a lot more products here that I sold of others. And just with stuff that happened, it wasn't feasible to do it anymore. And I thought, well, there's a certain couple of products of that line that I really miss. I know a lot of people miss it. And it's like, proof that you should never say never, because people have approached me before. Why don't you make your own? And I'm like, oh, why would I do that? I'm not reinventing the wheel. I've got all this. This is fine. Then, of course, the day comes and it's like, all right, well, why don't I look into this a little bit and see what, if anything, if I come up with anything. So I went off playing with stuff and mixing this and mixing that and testing this and testing that. And seems to be a pretty good line. A lot of people are loving it. But before that was really with the health focus on stuff. And I used to be the pet relief distributor for Canada, and they are a CBD for pets line. Fantastic, fantastic line, fantastic product. But whenever the Cannabis Act came into effect, it encapsulated the Industrial Hemp Act, and it was wide open in it. Anything cannabinoids is on the restricted ingredients list. So it's a restricted substance still. So I know people will be listening, people will be watching, and you go, oh, well, I can get it down the road and I can get it here and I can get it there. That's fine. But are you safe to give it to your pets? There's nothing approved for pets in Canada, and you can only sell it with a license. So Nova Scotia, it's the liquor store. Now, when they're developing anything with the CBD in it, they're still taking it from a medical marijuana source. Marijuana plant has over 3 parts per million of THC in it. So anything higher than that then classifies it as marijuana, and that's the differentiation between marijuana and hemp. Then you've got the psychoactive effects that you do not want. Mm-hmm. You don't want to risk that with pets. I know there's people, and I have a very close friend, actually a few, in the veterinary industry, and they've said that the effects of static ataxia, which is what happens whenever they basically get stoned, and they shut down because animals don't understand what it feels like with that. I've gone off on a tangent again, but the whole CBD thing. Yeah, well, I always try to fill these things with as much information as possible because I just want people to know these things.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of work on it, so I know I can speak on it. But anything that's processed through the liquor store, you're not going to give to your pets. You shouldn't. And if you are, stop it now, please. Basically, I had to find something else that was similar or that helps, because I had hundreds of clients at that point relying on the CBD. I was at the point when I felt I was letting everybody down, that I had two choices. It was basically sit in the corner, sucking my thumb, rocking back and forward, and have a nervous breakdown, or get up, shake it off, and find something else. So that got me really researching, what is the endocannabinoid system? What does it really do? How do cannabinoids work? Once you look into what's a cannabinoid, you can Google this. This is all easy information for anybody to find out. But whenever you look and see what products or what foods or what substances contain cannabinoids, you'll find you've got carrots on there that have got phytocannabinoids. You've got black pepper, turmeric. You've got quite a few different spices and herbs, and a lot of very, very natural substances out there. Now, to clarify, there is nothing quite like the industrial hemp plant, the full grown one, to give you the CBD. But hemp seed oil doesn't contain that. A lot of people were then buying hemp seed oil thinking, well, this is still working. It's got all of this in it. It doesn't have CBD in it. It has all your lovely omega 369 at a perfect balance. It's a lovely land source base of that. And it's got lots and lots of good attributes to it, but it's not actually stimulating the endocannabinoid system. Every mammal has an ECS, or endocannabinoid system. what that really is messages from parts of the body. So the body talks to itself, and this fires, this goes with this, and everything works in harmony. So it's things to stimulate that, which then go, hang on, over there's not working quite well. Send down the army, we'll fix that wee bit up, or this bit needs cleared out. So saying that you can get CBD from hemp seed oil is like saying that you can get vitamin C from an orange seed. It just doesn't happen. It's a different thing when you're looking at a seed to you're looking at a full mature plant. So based on that, the hemp seed oil, as I say, still has really good attributes to it. But we needed to supercharge that with something else. And a couple of other products that had come into my space, and one that I'd also been dealing with as well. One of the ingredients then I use in it is dragon's blood. And dragon's blood, or sangre de drago, is actually the highest antioxidant on the planet. So if you're looking at how they used to record things were on the ORAC scale, it's like a free radical level for antioxidants. And if you look at turmeric, for example, which is a huge thing people love, it sits on the ORAC scale at about 200,000. Look at dragon's blood. It's just under 3 million. It's 2.8 million. So way up there. Now, that had actually come to me because some people with Lyme disease find an awful lot of help with that. I test no for it. So there's not a one size fits all. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't work for me, but it's been working for other people. So that was one thing that I put in. I was like, oh, we'll see. So it came, there was a whole lot of different yeses and nos and everything else. And then Copaiba was the other thing where I actually found that it actually has a cannabinoid profile. So it actually works with the endocannabinoid system. And I thought, I wonder if we can supercharge that. So it was really a lot of trial and error. There was dozens of different substances that I was playing about with until I got the mix to somewhere where I thought, this is really quite good. And I still had some of the CBD oil that I could actually cross test it with. So I, very conservatively said, this might help, to a few people who then basically were, willing to be guinea pigs after I had been taking it for a couple of months and going, this isn't bad. I have an old horse who's almost 30. It's helped him with heaves, which is like COPD for horses. It's helped him with inflammation and other things. And my main poster child, I'll call him, was basically someone who called me very, very early on in the early days before it even had its own nice little bottles, and said somebody, or the vet sent them to me because of the CBD. And I said, well, I can't get it anymore. I said, but there is something else. And they said, well, we just spent thousands on surgery and it wasn't what they thought it was. And we don't know what else to do. And the dog was at death's door. It hadn't eaten for a week. So I'm like, all right, bring it up. Thankfully, it was somebody local. It was before I was even doing remote at that point. And I said, let me test him for something, and found full-blown Lyme.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, let's tackle this. So at that point, they were ready to try anything. And the smart oil came on as a huge yes for him, because it does help with the inflammation. It helps with pain. It can, it may help with a whole ton of stuff. And there's lots of different things we've heard that it's helped with. And that dog is running around 2.5 years later, competing in sports, and he's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Great story.
Yeah. So things like that, which is why I keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
So your product line has a shampoo and a leave-in conditioner. Am I right?
Yep. We have the shampoo in the gallon of the smaller size. We have the leave-in conditioner and detangling spray. So it's really good for even brushing through in between your regular grooms. And then we also have an ear cleaner, and all of those are scent-free and dye-free. So they can be classed therefore as hypoallergenic. And then on the health side, we have the smart oil. And then with the oil, we put that into a topical cream. So that was the Clever Cream. And then we also put it into a balm for noses and toes, which I actually use as a lip balm.
Ah,
So,
awesome.
yeah. So all of those contain the smart oil as well. So then you can actually absorb it through the skin too. So it's
Yeah.
really, really nice as a moisturizing skin, and it does actually help to protect and keep bad things away while other things are trying to heal and stuff like that. And then the colloidal silver spray, which was pretty much our flagship one, which is people have known us for years for this one. And this is actually approved through Health Canada as a veterinary health product as well. So vets can sell this too. They can get it through their distributor. We supply to the vets across Canada as well with that. And we ship anywhere in the world because there's nothing restricted in it. All the ingredients are approved.
Yes.
Nothing's nasty, nothing's a drug. So they can go everywhere and anywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, and I'll get your contact details from you. You can let everyone know in a few minutes there. We're hitting a 45-minute mark
Are we
here.
there already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share with the audience today, Wendy?
I don't really know. I think that basically just how to get a hold of me and how to find us and get an appointment if they want to.
Okay.
Best thing is through finessiumhealth.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can read a wee bit more about me on there. We will be actually producing our podcast shortly as well. That's going to be called
Yay.
Quantumly Yours. So quite excited about that. And we'll have some guests. So we may see you on mine, hopefully, in a little while.
Yeah.
And then I can grill you back
That's
and
it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
return the favor. So yeah, finessiumhealth.com. There's also on the contact us page on there. Then you can actually go and open the form to apply for an appointment if you want to do that. If you want to purchase any of the products, then it's actually through the main product site, which was Dogs of Pride. And that's how a lot of people would have known me then. And that's actually, we're turning 11 years old next month with Dogs
Wow.
of Pride. So that's where we do the main shopping on there. We like to just look after the health and the well-being on the Finessium. I don't like to push products on that site because that's really not what I want people to think I'm about. So, but yeah, we still have bills to pay. So it's nice people to have them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us there. We're on Telegram now, BitChute. We have the Dogs of Pride channel on YouTube with other podcasts and stuff. And hopefully, Janice, you'll allow me to grab this off Facebook after, and we
Yes.
can throw that up there
Yeah.
for anyone to watch us. And
Sure.
yeah, that's the best way is through email, though, is to get a hold of me. There's too many different channels and different avenues, and I'm not always in control of all of them. I have a few people looking after a lot of our social now too, which is really nice. It gives me more time to answer those emails and do appointments. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
And you're based here in the Annapolis Valley.
yep, just outside
And
Wolfville. Yep.
yeah. And like me, I was able to pick up my product rather than order it. So that was a nice feature if you're local.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And we were just saying how I got there in the snowstorm, and I was basically clearing the road as I went through it on those windy roads. But anyway, I had never been there before, so it was really kind of fun. I have a 4-wheel drive, so I was
Good job.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that just shows you as well, Janice. There's not much people won't do to help their pets. So
Isn't that the truth?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
If that was something we needed, no, we'll wait until the snow plows are through, and we'll wait until a nicer day.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
so right. And I'm so happy that that the groomer connected me with you, because
Yes.
we have lots in common, and we had the longest chat. I was expecting to talk to you when we first talked, just for a couple minutes, and I don't know how much time went by. So you're a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so honored that you took the time to come and chat with me today.
Oh,
And
thank
like
you.
Wendy said, she'll take this video and put it on her site, and I'll share it on my YouTube channel as well. So thank you very much, Wendy.
Oh,
And,
thank you, Jenna.
I look forward to connecting with you again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
And thank you everyone who joined in today. Again, my name is Janice. I am the CEO of Janice Inspiring Change Holistic Nutrition. And if you have any questions, my website is janiceinspiringchange.com, and you can contact me through there. And have a great day, everyone. Next week's guest is going to be the founders of Little Leaf Sprouting Company in Yarmouth, and I'll be interviewing them next week on Thursday. So look for the details for that. Take care, everyone, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.